everyone, welcome. It's Geekonomics. We are back as another week. A lot of stuff happened. Some of it happened pretty much minutes after we finished recording last week. But we are back to talk about all that and more. We got so much stuff going on. We got the Deadpool 3 news. We got Black Panther news. We got Brian's, I don't know, eyeglass appointment. I don't know what else is going on.
Well,
but so many things.
Well, Mark, you didn't get to make it. We missed you. On Sunday, we had Manchester's toy and comic book convention.
Oh, that's the thing I was thinking of. I blanked like that. Like it went out of my head. I was like, I knew something happened this weekend.
It was surprisingly, it was surprisingly good. It was a slow start, but actually more people showed up after noon. And
I think it was just the day yesterday was kind of weird. It like started out gloomy and
it was cold. Gloomy all day. It was gloomy and cold like all day.
Even at the kart track, it got sunny later on for like an hour or two. And I think that kind of like revitalized everybody. It was like, oh, there's the sun. I
mean, it was definitely like it was tough because it's the last weekend of the Big E. But for the most part, it turned out to be a decent day. And I think I did pretty well. Hey, look, it's a cat.
She hates when I pick her up.
Most cats do.
Yeah, she's like, don't pick me up. What is wrong with you?
Look at that cutie.
Hey, Joe makes the podcast. Should be very excited.
But yeah, it was a great time. Got to see Matt Ryan. He was wearing his Conan shirt.
As always.
It was really cool. Met some new people. I had a great time. I sold a lot of stickers. My God, the stickers. It's funny because I sold more stickers than anything else. But yeah. I left with lighter totes, which was great. So
that's good. That's the goal.
Yeah. The goal. So it's great. We have one more show, East of the River Convention, the last Sunday of the month at the American Legion in Enfield, Connecticut, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Early birds at 9 a.m. for $3. And I'm probably going to bring a lot. I'm going to recycle through my comics.
I have something to give you. So I got to get those.
Say that every time.
I know. I really have them. They're sitting right here. I have a stack of them. I just got to give them to you.
I'm going to bring a bunch of new stuff, comic-wise, because I kind of feel like a lot of the stuff I have, maybe people just don't want. So I have a load of more I can go through. But anyway, it was a great show. Andrew put on a great show.
That's awesome.
I was busy all day. I was on my feet. Usually I sit down. I was on my feet the entire time. They even had this little food cart outside. That
food truck?
Yeah, food. It was a food cart. Not a food truck, like a cart. But like
a hot dog cart,
hot dogs and pulled pork sandwiches and stuff.
Nice.
And of course, Scott Pellin was there. He actually did the show. We went across.
Yeah, it was his first one. He was very excited about it.
Yeah, we got coffee and some sandwiches. But yeah, it was a great time. Long day.
Very cool.
Very long day. At 3 o'clock it ends. I didn't get out of there until like 4 o'clock. It was weird. At 3 o'clock, it was just like a weird flood of people until about 3:30. It was weird. So like,
it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
A lot of people made last minute sales because of it. So that was cool. It was a good show.
Yeah.
Other than that, that's really my weekend. I did finally get to watch a few things which I want to talk about. I don't know if I should wait. If I should wait.
Well, I have to tell what I did over the weekend.
Yeah. What did you do
for the week? Yesterday, you're saying, I wasn't at the show because it was our season finale for the Northeastern Champ Kart Series.
Yeah.
The kart series I run. We were over in Pomfret, Connecticut at the speedway there. We had a really decent turnout. It was a nice day comparatively to how I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. No
rain. Sprinkle here and there, but nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Our two top divisions, the senior champ division and the junior champ division. It's like senior champs are like 15 and up, like adults, kind of. Both divisions finished with a 1 point differential for the championship, which was crazy because they went in with wider point spreads. So
Oh wow.
that's really cool. So yeah, so we got that. And then the junior sportsmen kids did a good job. Everyone did a great job. Nice day. Got the races done. Everyone had a good time. No big wrecks, no big disasters or anything. So that's always a good result. But now that's done for the year, so I can relax and focus on next year.
Man, I can't believe it's October.
I know. Hockey starts literally like in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah. NHL starts this week, like Wednesday.
Wow.
Yeah.
This summer, as always, it just goes by faster and faster.
Yeah, zoomed by.
Ugh, I hate it.
Yeah. I feel like I didn't even have a summer. Really.
Yeah.
Like have a chance to even enjoy any of it.
Yeah, I hear you. But yeah, here we are, wintertime, pumpkin spice season's in full swing, baby.
Oh my God. Don't even get me started.
Firestone across from the convention has the best iced coffee. I love that place.
The tire place?
It's Firestone. So it's the coffee.
Not the tire place. It's
No. It's like, it's a coffee place and a pottery place. So you can make pottery and they sell pottery. They have classes. And they sell amazing sandwiches and coffee.
Oh,
It's
very
a pretty
cool.
cool place. And then they have the Angry Egg, a breakfast place, which is packed. It was packed.
Well, it is Main Street in Manchester, so
Scott wanted to get a sandwich for his son, and they said it's going to be a half an hour. His place was packed. They had people outside. I'm like, I'm not. I would like to go there before a show. Like if I left early enough, get breakfast there. That'd be kind of cool.
That's a goal to set for yourself.
Next Andrew show. He hasn't determined when the next one is, but I think I'll go early and go to get breakfast at the Angry Egg.
That's when you can tell you're an old man, is when like you're excited for a breakfast place.
Yeah.
Man, I really want to try that breakfast place.
Yeah.
Things you don't say when you're in your 20s because you're never awake in time to have breakfast.
Right. You have breakfast at 2 a.m. after drinking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. And when you're in 40s, I get up at 5 a.m. so I can go to a breakfast place because I don't drink.
I don't do that.
Anyway, okay. So I watched the first episode of Andor.
Yes.
First time I tried to watch it, I made the mistake of watching kind of later at night. I fell asleep
I don't think that's an indictment on the show.
No, listen.
You shouldn't watch anything at night. Yeah. I
watched it. I woke up in the middle of episode 2 and I was like, I gotta try this again when I'm awake. Then
Speaking of old man problems,
I did put it on, and man, I have to say, I watched the first episode. I'm excited to watch episode 2. It's very, in my opinion, I think I like this more than any Star Wars show other than Mando, which I love. But this is kind of what I wanted out of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I didn't get it. Obi-Wan Kenobi for me just was junk food. This is like an adult Star Wars story.
Just wait.
It feels like it's doing its best Blade Runner impression. And I think that's why I like it. Feels like
really good like comparison. I haven't heard that one yet, but that's a very good comparison. It's very much like really nitty-gritty, down to earth Star Wars.
Yeah, it feels like I'm watching a Blade Runner show a little bit. It's got that moodiness. The soundtrack's really interesting. It sets the mood. the way it's filmed, everything does look real comparatively to the other shows that look, after a while,
Well, you
they're
can tell they like
in that thing.
you could tell with Andor that they built the practical sets and didn't use a volume kind of situation. Like
Yeah.
they could tell they built that city somewhere. Like you feel like it's been lived in and people actually are there all the time and it's just like used.
I do like the
Has that look
whole
to it.
that commander who's just like, we're gonna find out who killed these guys. I like it's starting off as a simple story.
Captain Tryhard. Captain Tryhard, as I call him.
Yeah. But it's great. And also it's interesting how you said last week you made the comment about being British, and I'm like, but Star Wars has always been British. If you watch the originals, all the commanders all have British accents.
Well, not so much that, but more of just
the
not the people in it. I was more saying like the tone and the acting in it seemed more like a British type of show. Like when you watch British shows, there's like Broadchurch and like that kind of stuff, and like the Scandal one that's on Netflix. It's like stuff like it's more like script driven than action driven.
Right, it's character driven. It's more I kind of like it because you have characters who actually are talking, and like you kind of go back and you watch like the new sequels, or even like Book of Boba Fett, or even Obi-Wan Kenobi. They're just talking to move the story along.
And like with this, there's like actual like tangible consequences to events as they happen.
There's like conversations that mean something that aren't, and like where you're not just talking to someone to get to the next scene because we have
like the scene where he gets mugged, that like action like reverberates through the rest of the story. Whereas like another Star Wars, like he would just have killed the people and then no one would have said anything about it afterwards.
Right. I mean, I really I like it a lot. I'll watch episode 2 this week. I'm gonna take my time. I don't want to rush it. And I know I'm behind a couple episodes.
They just 4 was last week, so
yeah, it just seems I understand why they dropped to 3, because that first episode just ends, and you can tell it was just like cut it there. Like it didn't.
They're all that way.
Yeah.
So far, they've all been that way. They end at weird locations, in weird spots. It's almost like
it's like a long movie.
It was filmed differently, and then they just like cut it. And it's like, oh, okay, that's not really
interesting.
A juncture where I would have cut there, but that's okay.
Well, it's like almost like I've heard the first 3 episodes feel like one long movie, and it's like they just cut up in 3 parts. So it did feel that way, but I'm excited to watch episode 2. I did catch up on She-Hulk. She-Hulk is just not doing it for me. It's just all right. It's junk food.
The newest episode was pretty good. I liked the newest episode.
Yeah, it was better. It was better than the last 2. I like the fact that we actually we get to hang out with Jen the whole time.
Yeah.
But
the one where she like, did you watch the newest episode where she goes to the retreat?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did. I'm interested to know how Josh got her blood, because pricking needle will wake you up. It hurts.
Well, I mean, depends upon.
Unless he drugged her.
Yeah.
But she felt fine the next day because we saw
you could give her
What's that mean?
You can numb the area before you put the needle in.
I guess it still.
I mean, yeah.
We all knew Josh was going to be.
She's a heavy sleeper too. It's not like
I don't know.
If I was passed out sleeping and you could draw my blood and I wouldn't know.
You would know.
No.
Yeah.
I'm a deep sleeper.
All right, we're gonna put this to the test.
You can have Claire try to draw my blood in the middle.
Yes.
Like, not to be thinking about it, so I won't be able to handle it. I'll be like, what are you doing? She tells me all the time. She's like, I talked to you before you. I talked to you this morning. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't remember any of that whatsoever.
Well, I don't
Like, we had
know.
a full conversation. I'm like, nope, don't remember any of it.
If I don't know, obviously Josh has mirrored her phone, has a
Yeah.
photo of her sleeping, and supposedly has her blood from that horrible text message he sent with 3 emojis. Like I was
Yes.
like, oh God, that is so corny. He's just like emojis. So when he gets arrested and he's in court and they go through his text messages, he can just be like, oh, those are just emojis. I was just having fun.
Yeah.
But we'll see where this goes. I mean, it's just for me, it's just junk food. Like I watch it, washes over me.
Well, I think it's like leading to a bigger thing. I think that's what's going to happen because like the person he was texting was called Hulk King in his phone.
Yeah.
And I think they're leading towards the leader being the person that's involved in this whole.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, and
so
Daredevil's going to show up in the last episode.
I think either this coming episode.
That's it. There's only 2 left.
Yeah.
I think he doesn't show up to the last one. That's my prediction.
I mean, that's going to be like, but see, the thing is, like, when I was thinking about it after it aired, I was like, how do you, like, are they going to end, like, they can't complete this story, really, in this 2 episodes, I don't think, because the way the episode's only been, like, what, 20, 30, like, not even 30 minutes long?
Yeah, they just dick around. They don't tell anything.
So, I mean, how are they going to get anything accomplished in the next episode?
Who the hell knows?
Are they going to push off this big reveal till next season?
I don't know.
Not the reveal of Daredevil, but I'm talking about the reveal of who's the person that's doing all this, or what?
I
Like the
hope
end,
so.
Like cliffhanger at the end of this season.
No, I can't, because they dicked around so much in the show. So I kind of feel like they gotta give us a payoff. They have to.
Oh,
It'd be kind of crappy if they didn't.
it's very popular. It's very hit or miss, though. I've heard that a lot online. It's like either you love it or you hate it. There's not like an in between.
I don't hate it. I mean,
like you're not either
I
a
go by
fan of it
every
or you're not.
episode, and I go I think 1 through 4 are the best, and then for me it just dropped off. Like 5 and 6 were not good.
I think that's the issue with doing these shorter, like, runs. Like I think anything less than 10, you're like not like you don't have time to get like into the story. Like even with Moon Knight.
See, I like Moon Knight.
They left it with like
for me.
Yeah, but they left it like at the end. It's like, oh, and then you come to find out they're not doing anymore. It's like, oh, well, then why did you end it that way?
Well, they said it was a one-off. They started off.
Yeah, but to end it with that like reveal at the end of this series.
But he could show up in a movie. We don't know where he could show up next. Or season 2 could be possible. You never know.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, She-Hulk, it's just some of the storylines aren't that great. They're just okay.
Yeah.
Right now, it's just a good show. I'm gonna watch it, but at the same time, it's aggravating when they give us 2 filler episodes like they have.
Well, it's also the thing of this. The thing I have with the show is like, why should I care? I think also flows into it sometimes. It's like, I don't see how this has anything to do with the rest of the Marvel universe. Like, okay, so there's a female Hulk out there. Okay, great. But how does that like translate into the bigger story? It's just like its own little like thing happening, and there's no like tangible connection. Besides like the Hulk being in it and the space thing and all that.
Yeah.
But it's like the rest of the story's just been like, okay, like give me the story, please. Give me what are we getting to? There doesn't seem to be like any reveal of like who the villain is.
Yes.
Or like what the main story is. It's just kind of like, here's a random weekly She-Hulk thing. Okay, great. But,
yeah.
Like, give me the meat.
Yes, there is no meat sometimes. It's all potatoes.
Yeah.
I would say like 1 through 4 was the meat, and then like 5 and 6 felt like.
Well, they gave you like small pieces of meat. like that first was the Blonsky, and then it was Titania, and now it's like, okay, so why are we going through all these small stories? I mean, I know there's like the like background story of the guys trying to steal the blood.
Yeah.
But they didn't really like get into it enough to make it feel like like something.
Right. And how
And
did
then to like throw it to Josh's character
from the wedding
as a random person that like is a person that got her blood somehow.
And if he was part of the wedding party, that means
Or just a guest at the wedding. Like, wouldn't someone know who he was? Like,
dude, that wedding episode was a mess because also
it's just like I was thinking about it, I'm like, okay, if he was at the wedding, he must have been invited to the wedding. Or he
Yes.
crashed the wedding.
No, he was invited because
But either way, if she like
said,
said so, yeah, the bride talks and everything, but like couldn't she, if like he doesn't call her back, call her friend who got married, be like, hey,
yes,
I haven't heard from Josh, but he was like, make up some story, like, oh hey, we were supposed to meet up or something, and he never got back to me. Have you heard from him? And like at least have that part be like, oh, I don't know who you're talking about. He wasn't invited to the wedding. Like give some kind of like tangible thing about, oh, who's this Josh guy all of a sudden, you know?
Yeah, it's very, you just got to go with it because if you're,
it was kind of like you just got to buy into all these things without having like, don't think about it, just it's happening. It's like, well, no. And I think Marvel doesn't do that. It shouldn't be. That's not how Marvel's stuff works. It's like
I'm not a big fan of what's her face, the Titanium or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
I don't really care about her.
I don't think she's coming back now. I think that was her
lame exit. Thank God.
Yes.
Because I still don't buy the fact that she crashes into a courthouse and then she's just like, yeah, but like, does she have superpowers or does she not have superpowers? Because
she does. She has very small superpowers, not like big superpowers.
I know, it's weird. And Mr. Immortal,
she's just like a low-level villain that like is a social influencer, and that's how she got out of jail.
I guess, yeah.
Because she's rich, and that's how the world works.
And Mr. Immortal, his story was humorous, but I was just like, hey, it's they're like, it's the guy from Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, it's the Twi'lek guy. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like it's a good premise that's just not being done correctly. Like if you had done like Law and Order, but with She-Hulk, that'd be a good show. Yeah, in the background had this. It was like they almost didn't take it seriously enough. It's like they went too far the opposite direction. It's like, oh, we're gonna make a comedy, okay, but instead of making it like dramedy type, they went complete like madcap comedy type. It's like, oh, well, that's a little too far in the. And she really hasn't done much lawyering at all. No, it's like she has a job. Why isn't like no one noticing that? I mean, technically, she was out with her client at the Blonsky thing. So yeah, I know that's why I liked 1 through 4 because there was actually something happening with her in the law and all that stuff. Yeah, and then all of a sudden now she's just off on a weird side things while everybody else is doing the lawyering. Like those two. Yeah, and then they have like the whole thing with the wedding episode of them being like, oh, we're gonna throw a wedding episode in because it's like in real life weddings are inconvenient and they pop up at inconvenient times. It's like, okay, just because you like a weird plot device to do something. Well, yeah, try to meet Josh, the random guy. It's like that. That's why you don't trust guys named Josh. I guess. What about your brother? Your poor brother? Like Jake. Exactly. Yeah. But anyway, like it was. Like I said, I'm interested to see where we're gonna go with all this. I'm hoping it picks up. Obviously there's a promise that it will pick up. And this is the thing with this show. It's like it turning into, instead of just being like a filler episode, like I'm starting to feel like this is just a filler show. Like it's just we want to do a She-Hulk show. She breaks the fourth wall. It's a comedy. Okay, great, do it. We'll pump it out. It'll be a bridge to get us to somewhere. Wherever we're going. Yeah, it does feel like a filler show at times. Yeah. It just like I thought about it like with the whole Daredevil thing. being 18 episodes is the thought process that he's gonna appear in this show.
Yeah.
And then she's gonna appear in his show.
She could. I mean, anything's possible. We'll see what Daredevil has to offer. So,
Yeah.
18 episodes is a lot.
That's a lot of stuff that, I mean, you think 9 episodes with fillers.
I hope
How many filler episodes are gonna have?
they're all different writers, different showrunners. So I hope.
Yeah. No, I know. Just like, oh man.
I mean, She-Hulk, in my opinion,
2 wedding episodes.
it could have been the first 4 and maybe these last 2. We got to see how it ends, but it could have been 6 episodes.
Yeah.
You know? It could have just been 6.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's like that's the weird thing with it. I think there's like that weird dichotomy that we've fallen into now where it's like if you're a 6-episode show like Hawkeye was,
that was perfect.
Fast-paced, you had your comedy, you're able to get your stuff through, and you had a big story in behind it. You do like a 10 to 12 episode story like WandaVision or one of those, you have time to get more stuff and you can get more in depth in things. I think this like 8 episode, like 8 to whatever 9 episode area, it's like a weird thing where it feels like it's
but
not enough to get the big story going in the right way, but not long enough to make it a fast-paced story.
Well, I would argue this. Hawkeye was fun. It was in and out. It was perfect. WandaVision, there was a mystery behind it. It was building to something.
Yeah.
This
I'm
isn't
just
building
I
to
use those
anything.
as linked stories, not
Right.
like the actual.
Like
first one that
She-Hulk
popped in my
is
head
building
said
to
something.
we don't know what it's built. I don't even know what it's building to be
We have
honest.
no idea. We have no clue.
It's honestly the only thing everybody
With 2 episodes left, we have no idea who the real villains are or what the real story is.
right. And I think everybody just wants
Besides
to
the fact that she got the Hulk's blood in her and now she's a lawyer that has the Hulk powers.
and Josh stole her
The
blood.
extent and Josh stole her blood.
Now
that's
the
the
only so
I mean, we saw the
having-
lab scene at the beginning, but like there's nothing in there that like hinted at what they were doing or what the
Planet Hulk, maybe. I mean, now that they have her blood, they can replicate the Hulk.
I was
Red
more
Hulk?
thinking World War Hulk.
See, I don't. What about Red Hulk?
That's what I'm thinking. Like that's what the leader's plan is become Red Hulk.
Yeah, so
And
maybe
you got World War Hulk where you have Abomination, Hulk against Red and She-Hulk fighting Red Hulk.
that's where we could be going towards. I have to assume because if they have her blood,
Yeah.
it's all done now. I mean, the cat's out of the bag.
So to speak.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, I want to believe this is where it's going. Red Hulk.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a villain that will have the powers.
Yeah, to like replace the Abomination character type.
Maybe Abomination comes out of retirement.
Well, no, but I'm saying you replace Red Hulk to be like the Hulk villain type, and then
Yeah.
Abomination sides with Hulk and She-Hulk
Yeah,
and helps fight Red Hulk, and then you can kill Abomination and not like, make
yeah.
it more.
He could redeem himself. Even
Yeah.
though he's like in this rehab facility or whatever he is.
He's at a retreat. He runs a retreat for
His retreat.
wayward Z-level villains.
I think he could have a redemption arc with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we
I
could
think
see
it's just a lot of preface. That's what this show is. It's just preface for something.
something. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
These last 2 episodes could be good. It could turn it
Yeah.
around. I don't want to be too negative. I'm just giving you my
No,
opinion.
it's not a terrible show. It's just
Yeah.
there's things that
It's very slow.
make sense. Yeah.
We started Dahmer. Speaking
boy.
of slow show, we watched the first 3 episodes.
Sink your teeth into it.
It's really hard because it's such a depressing and dark story. We're gonna
Because what I've heard of everybody, like I don't. When I see I'm like I don't know why you'd want to watch this.
Well, the
It
funny
seems-
part is, Evan Peters is phenomenal. The
I know
cast is
Quicksilver. I'm
phenomenal.
like I don't know if I want to watch Quicksilver being a man eater.
Well, the funny part is Allison and me were watching this and we're going, so far we have learned nothing new. We have already watched documentaries about Jeffrey Dahmer. We know
I don't think
everything
there's going to be much you're going to learn new. That's like,
so far. We're just watching it being acted out. And it's
yeah,
intense. And
yeah,
we can only deal with one episode. We watched two one night, and then the following day we watched one, and Allison's like, I can't deal with another one. And I go, wait, we only watched one? I thought we watched two. She's like, yeah, that was enough for me. So
yeah,
we're gonna continue watching it. It's like, wow, this is 10 episodes. What the fuck are
yeah,
they gonna tell us?
yeah,
But I mean, we're intrigued. The acting is amazing. It's a phenomenal. They're doing a phenomenal job. But it is dark and twisted, and it's a tough watch sometimes.
yeah.
So, but we are enjoying it for what you know. It's good for Halloween, good for October.
I guess.
But yeah, I mean, if you've seen the documentaries, you're really going to learn nothing new. You're just going to see these horrific things play out in front of you. They don't show a lot of it either, which is great. Sometimes they cut away and they'll give you the reaction shot of a neighbor, or which they don't always show you the gore, which is great.
Yeah.
But just knowing that's what's happening is creepy enough.
Yeah.
But that's really the extent of my TV viewing, Mark. Man, we've gone on. What time? Oh my God. Okay, so should we talk about the big news?
Yes, we had two big things happen. We should talk about the first one first that happened there last week.
Yeah.
Again, like we said, literally as I was editing the show last week, this dropped. And I was very mad about it. What? Not because I was mad that it came out. I was mad that it came out when it did, because we didn't have a chance to talk about it last week, and I had to wait a whole week to talk about it.
Well,
but Deadpool 3, Ryan Reynolds dropped a video on YouTube last Tuesday announcing the return of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and it is coming out on my birthday, September 6th, 2024.
Dude,
I've been living in this room, and I will stay in this room for 2 years.
I hate to say it, I'm more excited for this movie than anything in the MCU right now.
It literally took over everything. When it came out, it was like the world stopped. It was like, well, what's going on now?
And then a couple hours after, he released a thing with Hugh Jackman talking about it.
And the next day.
It was that night.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was like 6 hours later.
I didn't see it till the next day, but
yeah. And Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds said they're not touching Logan. Logan really happened, but that happened in the future.
Yeah.
This is going to take place present.
Yes.
So Logan still dies in the future. That movie is probably one of the best comic book movies of all time, in my opinion.
Yes.
It's amazing.
This is like a prequel to that.
Yeah. This is taking place in Deadpool lineage, that world. And then they started to explain what's going to happen, and then they started playing music over it. It was humorous. But man, this is like, if you are going to bring back Hugh Jackman as Wolverine one last time, this is
also if you're going to debut in the Marvel movie universe,
the MCU,
if you're going to bring mutants in, what better way to bring them in than probably the two most popular mutants that are out there right now?
Yeah. And on that timeline that they had presented a couple weeks ago at Disney or whatever they were at,
E23,
that fall, it just said fall. There was no movie listed. It was planned to be there. So obviously Fantastic Four and all this stuff is going to come out beforehand to set up mutants. So by the time Deadpool 3 lands, it will have already existed. I think Deadpool 3 this is like the last Spider-Man movie when you had all three Spider-Mans. This is like that.
Like you, like I
It's
was
pretty
thinking
big.
about it. Like I watched like all the videos on YouTube. I've read other articles about it. Like I'm a Deadpool guy, so I like want to know everything that's going on. And I've like the multiple things I've heard and this things like the only like one idea that I like my mind like blew up on was what if this is a Deadpool version of like the Doctor Strange movie, like a multiverse jumping movie, but like a buddy road trip movie with him and Wolverine.
Well, the last Deadpool movie ended with a time machine like apparatus.
Yes.
And he jumped around time.
Yes.
And obviously was very meta.
Yes.
So this definitely can allow the Wolverine from that universe to be part of part of Deadpool's universe. Yes.
Yeah. Like what if he like time jumped into a spot where Wolverine is in the Xavier house?
Yes.
And then they go on like a buddy cop adventure.
I mean, whatever they do, it's going to be fantastic.
Putting right what once went wrong kind of thing, or some crazy thing like that.
Yeah.
Or if they just fight through time and like they're just chasing each other through time.
Yeah. I mean,
for some reason or another.
I think this movie is well earned because he's been fighting for Hugh Jackman to make a cameo in both the Deadpool movies.
Yes.
The fact that the 3 claws is a 3, I mean, come on, all these things are just perfect.
It's all stuff like it's like one of those things where it's like I was thinking about it, I'm like, how long has this shtick been playing out for the two of them? Like, did they like have the Ryan Reynolds have this in his head like at the very beginning when he wrote Deadpool? Like, hey, I want to do this for Deadpool 1, I want to do this for Deadpool 2, and Hugh, I want you to come back for Deadpool 3, and this is my idea. And they've been sold on it the whole time, but they've just been ribbing everybody in the world for all this time.
They're friends. They could have been.
Yeah. And they've just been pulling this thing over everybody for all this time, knowing, like, setting up Hugh being like, no, I'm not going to, I'm done after Logan. I'm done with Wolverine. And like this whole thing was all mapped out and planned out this whole time.
I would not have been mad if Logan was the last movie because it was a perfect way to go out.
No, exactly.
But to come back for anything, this is it. To come back for anything. And we did see Logan, we did see Wolverine / Logan in one of the newer X-Men movies. I think he was in, obviously he was in Days of Future Past. No, but the one, he made a quick cameo in the one after that.
First Class, I want to think.
First Class.
He was one of those, like, he shows up in the
no, the one with the purple, with Poe Dameron played the villain. He showed up briefly in that. That was Apocalypse.
Like whatever that one was called.
We saw
he shows up in the dam. They go around like when they're all captured and they come around the corner and he's there. Yeah. And then he runs out the hole in the wall. Yes.
Yeah. In Days of Future Past, he was part of that storyline, the whole but man, this is I am so excited, Mark. I don't want, like, I am beyond, this is like, it broke the internet that day. I mean, the trailer has been viewed a million times.
Well, because it's like they're like the theory is that like that universe, the Fox X-Men universe is canon in the MCU, but it's like an alternate universe.
Yeah.
So you could use the multiverse angle of it and be like Deadpool and Wolverine are in a battle with somebody, or something happens where they're both fighting somebody for some reason, and they're like shot through something multiverse wise, and that drops them in the MCU universe.
Yeah.
And you get like the, after like the now time Marvel universe where there's like Rogers the Musical going on and like that kind of thing, when they rib on all the different things.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be
That's
good.
how you get it dropped in, kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm pumped.
It's crazy to think about it actually happening.
I know. I can't like we're going into 2023, which is crazy.
Yes.
So I mean, even though we say 2024, it's now less than 2 years away
Yeah.
by a month. So
Yeah. Yeah.
oh man.
Yeah.
And then
Like
the
I said,
other
it's the best early Christmas present I've ever gotten.
virtual or birthday
Birthday present. Birthday present. Yes. Yes.
Um, and then the other bit of news just this morning, the new trailer for Wakanda Forever dropped.
Yes. And tickets came available, which we had to
Yes.
rush to get tickets for.
We always buy our
Going
tickets
quickly.
going quickly.
I mean, not like we're not just saying that. Like it's true. Like we were planning on doing one showing, basically sold out already.
Yeah.
So we had to go to a different showing earlier, which we found spots for. But that's like we've done this enough times now with the advanced ticket purchasing that you can tell if something's going to be good or is going to be popular by like how much the advanced sales are.
Right. Totally.
The fact that I got the email from Cinemark probably about 2 hours ago now, and the fact that the multiple showings are pretty close to sold out, that's a good sign.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the trailer looks amazing.
I like the new trailer.
Yeah.
It did spoil of who is going to be the
Well, that's
Black-
already been spoiled before this. As unfortunately it seems to be the case with a lot of Marvel stuff. Lego puts out their Lego sets early, like way earlier than a lot of other things come out.
Well,
Just how
the previews get shown from the Lego sets.
Yes.
Not the Lego sets out yet.
No, but the previews of them, like what's coming, comes out.
Yeah.
And they have a tendency to leak a lot of things, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So they did leak in the Lego set that Suri is wearing the new Black Panther outfit.
Which I say that she would know the tech. So
she built all this stuff for the Black Panther in the movie.
Right.
It makes sense that she would take over. And we get to see Ironheart for the first time in like actual outfit.
Yep. And Ironheart
or Namor. That's Ironheart. Yeah.
Yeah, Namor looks awesome. There's a lot happening. And it's weird when you watch the new Avatar 2 trailer. It reminds me a lot of each other because you have this water land battle.
Water versus land.
And then in the new Avatar, you have this water and land battle. My prediction is, I said this before the pod, I really believe Wakanda Forever is going to outperform Avatar 2. And I think it's a hard one to swallow because I think Avatar 2 is going to do very well. But I think at the end of the day, at the end of the year, I think Wakanda Forever is ultimately in total going to do better. I think people are way more excited and hyped for this one. And the first Black Panther did very well. I just don't see Avatar 2 having that hype. Even when the trailer drops, there's some hype, but it kind of dropped off pretty quickly. Avatar 1 did get re-released in the theater last week. It actually was the #1 movie globally.
Yeah.
But it was really up against nothing. So, I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's my prediction. What do you think, Mark? Do you think Avatar 2 is going to outperform Wakanda?
No. The fact, like I told you before we started recording, the fact that you have to release the first movie to remind people about what the story is because it's been so goddamn long since the original came out, that you're now putting out sequels to it, I don't think it's going to be the same. Like, there's not going to be the same hype like there was when the first one came out, because everyone was hyped for the visuals of it.
Yes, that's what.
But then when they watched the movie, it was like, oh, this is just live action Gully. I don't need to watch this again.
Like, people were blown away by the 3D.
Yes, which they should have been. It was amazing. It was like one of the first, like, I think one of the first movies to use the red camera.
Yes, it was. James Cameron.
That was like a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that was the big thing about it. And the visuals were stunning and everything was great. And then Sam Worthington's acting happened and people like, oh, yeah.
And then everybody hyped on the 3D train. And for like a whole year, we had to do
it was like for like everything. Like when we had 3D TVs, 3D channels.
Yes.
All these companies dropped millions and billions of dollars to build 3D studios and everything. And then
they all went away.
2 years later, everyone's like, why are we putting glasses on to watch television?
Right. Totally.
And like when a portion of the population can't even see the 3D because of their eye issues, and then they're not going to be watching it or purchasing the stuff. So it's a waste of money. We just lost a lot of money because we built these studios.
I would go to 3D movies in the beginning, and I was sort of like, by the time the movie ends, I forget it's in 3D. It's not I kind of don't care.
Like it was kind of amazing to me that it came back around, because like when 3D came out originally with like Jaws, when Jaws was like the end of the first 3D wave, kind of, everyone was kind of like, oh yeah, Jaws 3D, and then it was like, oh yeah, Jaws 3D.
It was a bad Jaws movie. But I mean,
it's just like one of those things where it's like, so why are we doing this again? It didn't work the first time. Why? It was a bad gimmick the first time around. Why is it?
Well, movies are still put in 3D this time around. They're still like you like we could
there are
Wakanda in
3D. You can see Wakanda Forever in real 3D or whatever it is. But it's like I don't
want to pay the extra money for it.
I don't pay the extra money for it because with my eye issues, I can't see it anyways because I don't have the depth perception to see it. So for me, it's just a very clear video. So it was like, like every once in a while, like if like my lazy eye gets the right direction, I could see a little bit, but it's not worth spending extra, like $6 to $10 to watch a movie.
Right. I think Avatar 2, what could happen is the 3D could be really amazing again, and then people could have like, oh my God, it was so good in 3D. You got to see it.
That's how they did the first one. That was the shtick of the first one. That was their big selling point. Like,
yes,
we're going to see this movie, see it in 3D. Because it costs more and we get more out of it.
Yeah, I think that could be the case.
Because how the box office thing got so big is because everyone had to watch it in 3D. So the movie theaters raised the price on the tickets, and then the movie cost more. So they made more money.
Yeah. So I don't know. That could be the case for Avatar 2. That definitely could be a case.
It's also very huge overseas, Avatar.
Oh yeah.
So who knows? I don't think it's going to be as big as Wakanda Forever.
No, and I don't think
it's going to have a big box office. It's just not going to be as big as Wakanda Forever, I don't think.
Yeah, or Avatar 1. I don't think it will be as big as Avatar 1.
No, I mean, cost fluctuation stuff. He gets into all that stuff,
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's
counting for inflation and all that.
It's not going to be the number one movie. It's not going to be.
I think it'll be the number one movie when it comes out.
Yeah, I'm saying domestically of all time. I don't think.
No.
I
don't think it's going to get that high. I mean, it could be one of the top movies of all time, but I don't think it's going to be the top one.
Yeah,
we could all be wrong. Who knows?
Yeah, it could hit the top 10. That's a definite possibility.
Yeah,
and Maverick. I don't know where Maverick lands.
I don't know. I still haven't seen that. So.
Yeah, I think Maverick is in the top 10. So.
Yeah.
But SNL was really good. I
totally forgot it was on.
The host from Maverick, what's his name? He was in Whiplash. I can't think of his name now.
Miles Teller?
Yeah, Miles. Dude, he played Eli Manning in the beginning. Holy F. I thought it was Eli Manning. It was unreal.
He's done that before, I think.
No, this is his first time hosting.
No, I mean like in other things he's done that where he's played Eli Manning because he's like really.
Never seen it
He
before.
is. The only reason I know this because of sports stuff, but because he was in those movies with Shailene Woodley, and she's dating Aaron Rodgers. So I know he's been a part of like football stuff a lot. So.
Well, anyway, doesn't matter because I don't know any of that. But I watched the opening cold open was really good. Actually, it was really funny for the first episode with a lot of new people, and the new people were used pretty. They were actually shown.
I think there are more new people than there are old people at this point.
No, there's only 4 new people.
Oh wow! So
but a lot of old people left.
Yeah, so they must have cut the cast back then.
A lot of old people retired. They wanted to leave before the pandemic, and they stuck around because of the pandemic.
Then Chris Redd left because he's dating Kenan Thompson's wife.
Yeah, ex-wife. That's very awkward. I can see why. He left very suspiciously a week before premiere. So that was like, we know why you're leaving because it's awkward. Yeah, that's an awkward situation.
But they've been friends for years.
Yes. He was on a show, Kenan.
Yeah.
Which got canceled.
Yeah.
But I guess like Kenan, it was on TMZ. Like Kenan officially got divorced from his wife May of this year, but they haven't been together for like maybe a year.
Yeah.
They got 2 kids together. They were married for 11 years.
I guess Chris Redd like introduced them too, which is even more awkward.
I didn't read that, but I don't know. I don't want to get into it.
Because Chris Redd and Kenan Thompson's wife have been friends for a long, long time, I guess.
Well, Chris Redd's not married.
Yeah, I know. But Kenan Thompson's wife, I'm saying, were friends for years before she met Kenan, and that's how she met Kenan was through Chris Redd.
I don't know. Not my circus. I'm just saying.
I was like, oh boy.
I'm just saying I could see why he left.
I totally forgot it debuted this week.
Yeah, it was good. Also, I'm canceling Peacock again. I had Peacock all for a week. Hulu figured this shit out. If I have the streaming, I can DVR. Their DVR function was not working for people who DVR because Peacock was like, no, we get everything day one now. It doesn't go on a platform. But if you have the streaming version, you can DVR things. Well, kinks aside, they fixed it. I was able to DVR SNL. I'm able to DVR Law and Order. So
that's all that matters.
That's all that matters. So goodbye, Peacock. Goodbye.
As long as Brian gets his Law and Order, everything's right.
Law and Order and SNL, I don't care. And Dateline. That's all I need in life, and I'm a happy boy.
Oh, when did this show become hashtag old man problems?
What? Yeah. Well,
I found a good breakfast place. I DVR Law and Order. I DVR Dateline. I just tried out the new Ovaltine. It's really good.
I gotta have my Stabler and Mariska Hargitay in my life.
Oh God, I've gotten so old so quickly. It's scary.
Dude, me and Allison have been watching Law and Order for at least 13, 14 years now. And
but the fact that you're like the main determining factor of you purchasing Peacock is the fact that you can now record Law and Order on your Hulu device.
Well, it should have been that way, but they had problems. And
your main goal in the next year is to see if you can get into that hot new breakfast joint in Manchester before the show.
Angry Egg, baby. I'm going. We're going. We're all gonna go before the next show. We're all gonna go to the Angry Egg.
I can't say anything because before the shows we used to do up here for Bill, Matt and I used to like tour around Springfield, going to different breakfast places.
Right. It's fun.
Shows.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it. I literally was thinking about it yesterday as I was driving to pick up Josh to go to go-karts. I'm like, if I was going to the show today, I miss like when Matt and I used to go get breakfast. Oh, because I went to get Claire's car inspected on Saturday. And the place I went to get it inspected was right next to where Matt and I used to go get breakfast a lot. And I was like, oh, before a Plainville show, I got to talk to Matt. We got to meet up earlier. We got to get breakfast before we go to the show somewhere.
I hate Mark. Remember, we used to go
Like,
to.
how old am I?
We used to go across the street before the shows at the Gavel.
Yeah.
We used to get breakfast over there all the time.
Remember? Yeah. I know.
And now since
How
Scott
old am
moved
I?
his show, there's no breakfast place nearby. So
There is.
where? On Route 5?
Yeah.
There's no breakfast place on Route 5.
Well, not on Route 5, but near
We
Route
have
5.
Country Diner, but that's like
No,
across.
that's too far away. There's got to be someplace around there.
Yeah, Dunkin'.
No, there's no like little.
There's no breakfast place on Route 5.
I have to look it up.
Oh, Jimmy's now serves breakfast.
I don't know if I could handle that.
Ooh.
Jimmy's really does breakfast?
Yeah.
Look at you. All excited.
Jimmy's does breakfast. Maybe we go there.
There you
before
go.
the show on the next show.
Yeah.
You're like,
I mean, there's breakfast places, but they're on the far side of town, like out in Skidco, like where Anfield used to be, whatever that's called now. They do a good breakfast. My dad used to go there all the time.
well, Jimmy's Pub does breakfast.
Ike's, that's what it's called now. Ike's.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Enfield doesn't really have the big breakfast scene that it used to.
Jimmy's Pub has breakfast.
All right.
Could be good. Jimmy's Pub Enfield hours. Maybe we go. It's right there. They open. Oh, they open at 11 a.m. That's
Well, that's not breakfast. That's brunch.
They open 11 a.m. every day, so we couldn't do that.
That's not breakfast. That's brunch.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind. We can't do that. Ike's is way up in Green Manor.
That's why you buy your parents. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's. I think
That's the only other place besides Country Diner I could think of that like does breakfast. Like a mom and pop kind of place.
The place in East Windsor, which why I can't think of the name now. We used to go there.
That place that's by across used to be Rossdale's way back in the day, but now it was a cracked egg or something like that.
Oh,
it was like that, something with egg in it.
Yeah. Anyway, we should wrap up the show before we.
Well, if you're a local Enfield breakfast place, let us know. Reach out. But before we end the show today, Brian, I wanted to, with the hurricane that came through last week. I know there's probably everyone in the world's doing this, but I want to do it as well. If you guys have a chance or you can, reach out to any of the local places or the usual suspects for donating to relief funds, be it Red Cross, Salvation Army, any of those places. You can look them up. I just Googled it a second ago. Just type in Hurricane Ian Relief Fund, and you'll find tons of options of places you can donate and help out. Just looking at the images, like Fort Myers, I know James's parents had a place in Fort Myers. I don't know if they still own it down there, if they sold it beforehand, but just knowing that what's going on down there, and then actually knowing some people that live down in that area and just seeing what happened down there, it's craziness. So if you can, whatever you can, donate, help out. Every little bit helps.
All right, let's wrap it up. I gotta ask you a question.
Okay. So as always, I am distracted now. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Be safe. Be good. Be kind.
Rewind.
Bye, everybody.
Peace.